In the early hours of the 29th of February 2000, Katherine Knight, a mother of four, cold-bloodedly killed her de facto husband, John Price, in what has to be one of Australia's most horrific murders. It all started when Knight sent the children away for an overnight stay at a friend's house. Now by herself, Knight went and got a long boning knife and a sharpening steel. She then began sharpening the knife until it was sharp enough to cut through bone. A couple of hours later, the victim, John Price, came home after a hard day's work. He was told by Knight that the kids were sleeping out and that they had the whole night to themselves. At around 11 p.m, Knight and Price decided to have sex. After they finished, John Price dozed off and Katherine Knight went and got the boning knife. John Price woke in horror to find Knight screaming and stabbing ferociously at him. With multiple stab wounds to his body, John Price leapt out of bed and made a desperate dash to escape, with Knight running right behind him, still stabbing him in the back. Price made it to the front door, opened it, then collapsed in a large pool of blood. John Price's post-mortem revealed that Mr. Price had been stabbed in the front and back of his body at least 37 times, and many piercing vital organs. These including the stomach, both lungs, the aorta, liver, the left kidney, the descending colon, and the pancreas. Now that's an evil thing for a lady to do, right? Well, for Katherine Mary Knight, the fun had just begun. A long while after Mr. Price had died, evil Knight dragged his body through the hallway to the lounge room, where she proceeded to skin him, using skills learnt as a meat worker at an abattoir. She skinned Price with great skill, removing his head, face, ears, nose, neck, torso, genital organs, and legs all in one piece. Only a bit of skin and flesh in the middle of his chest was left. A little while after John Price was skinned, Katherine picked up the pelt, with everything still intact, and hung it on a meat hook which was on the lounge room door. You must be thinking now, yep, you couldn't get much more evil than that. Well, yes you can. After Knight hung Price's body, she proceeded to the kitchen to prepare a large pot of stew, with a variety of vegetables. She then went back to the lounge room where Price's body was, and with great expertise began to slice off Price's head. She then took it back to the kitchen and placed it in the pot. While this was left to cook slowly, she cut 3 slices of flesh from his buttocks to roast in the oven. All this was in preparation for the night's evening meal with Price's son and daughter. When finished cooking, Katherine Knight served it out, accompanied with a horrifying note to each of his children. The third steak was found on the back lawn, coming to the conclusion that either Knight herself had tried to consume it and freaked out, or she threw it out for her dogs. Luckily, all this was found by police before his children returned home for dinner. Katherine Knight became Australia's first woman to be sentenced to life without parole. In handing down her sentence, Justice Barry O'Keefe described her crime as premeditated and horrific, evil actions that indicated cognition, volition, calm, and skill.